lo que traté de decir hoy es que necesitamos trabajar juntamente. Todos los oficiales electos, sea concejales, asambleístas, senadores y también con la oficina del presidente del condado. Queremos no solamente crear trabajo aquí en el condado del Bronx, sino crear oportunidades para los residentes que viven aquí. Tenemos que traerles programas para que ellos se puedan mejorar esas oportunidades donde se pueden identificar como personas que pueden aceptar esos empleos. Ya llegó el momento, llegó el día donde cuando se toma una decisión en este condado, lo tenemos que hacer en consideración de todos, no solamente ciertos vecindarios. Entonces ahora nosotros tenemos que, obviamente, trabajar con la Asamblea y el Senado para traer recursos, no solamente a la ciudad de Nueva York, sino al condado del Bronx para mejorar el MTA, para evitar el tráfico que tenemos aquí, que también por el tráfico y los vehículos tenemos mucho asma y bronquitis. So tenemos que trabajar con todo el mundo aquí. Before I go in English and take any questions, I really want to say that we're proud of our men and women in blue for their tremendous efforts, their collective efforts with the FBI in avoiding what would have been a devastating tragedy in Riverdale that would have affected the entire borough of the Bronx and the city. You know, every now and then you continue to see where terrorists and the cowards of terrorists try to rear their heads, and I was so happy to see that the men in blue and the FBI were able to stomp their heads down before they even raised it a little bit. So we tip our hats to them, we commend them, and we'll continue to move forward and collectively, because what affects one part of the borough, like I said in my speech, affects every part of this borough. So any questions?
Okay, questions?
When were you informed about this plot?
Last night.
And what were you told specifically?
Well, we were told specifically that this has been an ongoing investigation that obviously not everyone could know about, and that they had individuals from Newburgh who were plotting to form a jihad. And they wanted to do that by taking away lives from people in this great borough. They wanted to do that by shedding blood in the borough of the Bronx. And I'm so happy again that the police department and the FBI were able to outmaneuver them. Obviously, this was not the most sophisticated terrorist cell. And ultimately, the Bronx is shining with a brilliant sun today because of the work of our men in blue and women in men in blue.
Were you told why they picked the Bronx?
I was not.
Questions?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about how the borough is one, and that's really a part of your mission. But also, I think people in different parts of the borough have some different concerns. The communities of Bronx, Neck, and Morris Park, those communities specifically, what are you hoping to do to bring those communities to a new level?
Well, again, we want to deal with the entire Bronx. So when we speak of different specific issues, we got to understand that when we're trying to fight, or when the elected officials are trying to fight to keep a firehouse open on City Island, that we should all, whether we represent City Island or not, be alongside with those elected officials that are there and the community that is there. When a small business strip like Westchester Square burns down and the stores are gone and decimated, that we all feel that effect. And so we will be working with not only the Bronx Overall Economic Development Corporation, but with all of the associations, and we got to put together a comprehensive plan, because one size does not fit all, and there are times where one solution can address all of the problems, whether it's having an anti-graffiti program, whether it's ensuring that our stores get small business loans, whether it's areas like Morris Park or Classen Point or Riverdale, where we want to maintain the character of the neighborhood and not have overdevelopment. Then there are other areas where we want more development. But we need to have a cohesive plan with all of the elected officials, all of the non-for-profit leaders, all of clergy, as well as many of our business leaders. And I look forward to putting those forums together.
Question?
Could you speak to
Mike?
Can you give us some information on where we stand on the bus and subway cuts that the MTA was planning, and
Well,
now that the bailout plan faculty still here if they're going to be cuts?
Well, if you look, for instance, a couple of weeks ago, Michael, the state legislature voted on this bailout plan, and what we've seen is, you take, for instance, specifically the 34 bus at Woodlawn, there was going to be cut. That 34 bus, thanks to the efforts of Assemblyman Jeff Dinowitz and others up in Albany, that 34 bus will continue to continue its service. So we feel optimistic. We'll continue to speak with the majority leader, the state assembly speaker, who are friends of mine, and the governor as well, so that as we move forward with a 5-year capital plan for the MTA, that not only we fully fund it, but that also the Bronx gets its fair share.
What kind of fares are we looking at this point?
We're looking less than double digit figures. Where at one point we were looking at 31% increase. I believe now we at 8% increase in fares, which is not too bad. Many subway riders and mass transit riders knew that they were going to absorb some kind of or take some kind of a fare increase. They just didn't want it to be at the magnitude that they saw. All right. One Bronx, that means bagpipes as well. Hi, Maria.